Have you ever Googled this? How much money do I need to retire? I have. Maybe you have too. One website tells you $1 million. The next one says $2 million. Then you watch television and someone confidently announces that $3 million still isn't enough. By the time you're finished, you don't have an answer. You have anxiety. Today, I want to do something different. I'm not going to give you another retirement number. I'm going to show you exactly how I would calculate your retirement if we were sitting together at my kitchen table. In fact, I want you to build it with me. So if you have a yellow legal pad, grab it. If not, any notebook will do. And grab a calculator, because by the end of this conversation, you'll know within a reasonable planning range about how much money you need to retire. Not your neighbor, not your brother-in-law, not the person on television. You. Ready? Let's build your retirement plan. At the top of the page, write, "My retirement plan." Now underline it. Everything we're going to do for the next few minutes builds from this one page. And when we're done, you'll have something far more valuable than another opinion. You'll have a plan. Step 1. Find your retirement starting point. Before we talk about investments, before Social Security, before retirement calculators, we have to answer one question. What does your life actually cost? Not what you earn, not what you wish you spent. What does your life actually cost? Because here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They think retirement is about replacing their paycheck. I don't believe that's true. Write this across your page. You're not replacing your paycheck, you're replacing your lifestyle. That may be the most important sentence in this entire video. Think about it. If two people both make $120,000 a year, one might spend $50,000. The other spends $110,000. Do they need the same retirement? Of course not. Because retirement isn't based on income, it's based on spending. So here's your homework. Don't overcomplicate it. Pull out your bank statements and credit card statements from the last 12 months. Now create these categories: housing, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, healthcare, giving, entertainment, travel, everything else. Now total each category. When you're finished, add them together. That number tells you something incredibly valuable. It tells you what your current lifestyle costs. Let's use an example. Suppose your total spending last year was $72,000. Write that number at the bottom of your page, $72,000. Congratulations. You now know something most Americans don't. What it actually costs to live your life, not someone else's, yours. And here's why this matters. Every retirement article starts by asking, how much money do you have? I think that's the wrong place to start, because if you don't know what your life costs, how could you possibly know how much you'll need? Today, we're not guessing, we're measuring. And that's exactly what good planning looks like. What changes the day you retire? Now let's do something that almost every retirement calculator skips. Let's cross things off. Because the day you retire, some expenses disappear, and every expense that disappears is one less dollar your retirement savings have to replace. Let's start with the obvious ones. If you're contributing to a 401k, those contributions usually stop. That's money you no longer have to earn. Next, look at your commute, gas, parking, work clothes, daily lunches, coffee on the way to work. Those costs often shrink dramatically. Now ask yourself another question. Will your mortgage still exist? If the answer is no, that's one of the biggest changes in your retirement budget. Let's use our example. Suppose your annual spending was $72,000. Now let's say your mortgage disappears, saving $12,000 a year. Work expenses disappear, saving $3,000 a year. Retirement contributions stop, saving $8,000 a year. Let's do the math together. $72,000 minus $12,000 minus $3,000 minus $8,000 equals $49,000. Did you catch what just happened? A few minutes ago, you thought you needed enough income to support a $72,000 lifestyle. Now, without changing your lifestyle at all, your retirement spending estimate has dropped to about $49,000. That's a difference of $23,000 every year, and we haven't even talked about Social Security yet. This is exactly why I don't like headlines that say, everyone needs $2 million. No, everyone needs to understand their own numbers. Now, before you get too excited, there's another side to this. Some expenses go down, others go up. And if we ignore those, our retirement plan won't be accurate. Let's turn the page. What gets more expensive? Now let's put some of those expenses back, because retirement isn't all savings. Some costs actually increase. If we ignore them, our plan won't be accurate. The first one is healthcare. For many people, healthcare becomes one of the largest expenses in retirement. Insurance premiums, deductibles, prescriptions, dental work, vision care, long-term care planning. You don't have to know the exact number today. Just don't leave it out. Write down your best estimate. Next, home maintenance. Here's something I remind myself of. Your roof doesn't know you're retired. Neither does your furnace, or your water heater, or your air conditioner. Your house will continue asking for money. The difference is, your paycheck won't be there to answer, so every year I would set aside money specifically for home repairs. Now let's talk about the fun part. Travel. If retirement means finally taking that Alaska cruise, visiting the national parks, or spending more weekends with the grandkids, plan for it. Dreams belong in a retirement budget too. The same goes for hobbies. Golf, fishing, woodworking, photography, gardening. Retirement should give you more time to enjoy life. Just make sure you've planned for it. And finally, don't forget generosity. One of my favorite parts of retirement is imagining having more time and more freedom to help other people. Your church, a missionary, your children, your grandchildren, someone who's fallen on hard times. I never want to build a retirement plan that only blesses me. Now let's update our example. Our adjusted retirement budget was $49,000. Now let's add back a few realistic expenses. Healthcare plus $6,000. Home maintenance plus $3,000. Travel plus $4,000. That brings our annual retirement budget to about $62,000. Notice what happened. We didn't guess, we adjusted. And that's exactly what retirement planning is. It's not trying to predict the future perfectly. It's building a plan that's realistic enough to give you confidence. Now write one sentence at the bottom of your page. My retirement budget is different from my working budget. That's an important realization. Because the more accurate your budget becomes, the more accurate your retirement plan becomes. How much money do you actually need? At this point, you finally have the information that every retirement calculator should have asked for in the first place. Your retirement budget? Now let's turn that budget into a retirement target. Let's continue using our example. Our estimated retirement budget is $62,000 per year. Now let's assume Social Security will provide $38,000 per year between you and your spouse. Retirement budget. $62,000 minus Social Security minus $38,000. Income needed from investments, $24,000 per year. Now we're finally asking the right question. Not, how much money do I need? But, how much money do my investments need to produce? Those are completely different questions. One planning guideline many financial planners use is called the 4% rule. It isn't a promise, it isn't a guarantee, it's simply a reasonable place to begin planning. Here's how it works. For every $100,000 invested, you might reasonably plan for about $4,000 per year of retirement income. Let's build it together. $100,000 equals about $4,000 per year. $200,000 equals about $8,000 per year. $300,000 equals about $12,000 per year. $400,000 equals about $16,000 per year. $500,000 equals about $20,000 per year. $600,000 equals about $24,000 per year. Now stop for a second. Look at what we just did. We didn't pull a retirement number out of thin air. We built it. We started with your life. We estimated your retirement budget. We subtracted your guaranteed income. Then we calculated what your investments need to provide. That's planning. Now here's your homework. Look at your retirement account balance. Don't judge it, just write it down. Now ask yourself one question. If my investments needed to provide income today, how close am I? Maybe you'll discover you're much closer than you thought. Maybe you'll realize you still have work to do. Either way, you're no longer guessing, you're planning, and planning always beats worrying. What if you're not there yet? Let's say you just finished the exercise, you looked at your retirement account, you compared it to your estimated goal, and you realized, I'm not there yet. First, take a deep breath. That's not bad news, it's valuable information, because now you're making decisions based on facts instead of fear. Now, let me show you something that surprised me. Most people think there's only one way to improve a retirement plan. Save more money. That's certainly one option, but it's far from the only one. In fact, there are 6 different levers you can pull. Let's write them down. Lever number 1, work a little longer. Even 1 or 2 additional working years can make a tremendous difference. You're still contributing to retirement, your investments continue growing, and you're shortening the number of years your savings need to support you. That's a powerful combination. Lever number 2, save more. Ask yourself one question. Can I increase my retirement contribution by just 1%, not 10? Just one. Many people won't even notice the difference in their paycheck, but over several years, that 1% can become surprisingly significant. Lever number 3, spend less in retirement. Remember what we've been doing all day. Every dollar you remove from your retirement budget is one less dollar your investments have to produce. Cut your annual spending by $4,000, and you've reduced your investment target by roughly $100,000. Think about that. One decision, a six-figure difference. That's incredible. Lever number 4, delay Social Security. For some people, waiting a little longer to claim Social Security can permanently increase their monthly benefit. Now, this isn't the right answer for everyone. It's a decision to discuss with your financial planner, but it's another lever available to many retirees. Lever number 5, earn some income in retirement. Retirement doesn't have to mean your income drops to zero. Maybe you consult, maybe you work one morning a week, maybe you teach, maybe you turn a hobby into a small business. If you earn just $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year you don't have to withdraw from your investments. Using our planning guideline, that's roughly the equivalent of having another $300,000 invested. That's a pretty amazing trade-off. Lever number 6, make a plan. This may be the most important lever of all. Meet with a qualified financial planner, ask questions, review your assumptions, make adjustments, because retirement planning isn't about being perfect. It's about making informed decisions. Now look back at your legal pad. You probably don't need to pull all 6 levers. You may only need 1, maybe 2, and that's encouraging, because improving your retirement plan isn't usually about making one giant change. It's about making several smart changes over time. That's exactly how wealth is built. One wise decision, followed by another. Before you close your notebook, I want you to look at what you've written. A few minutes ago, all of this existed only in your head. Questions, worries, unknowns. Now, it's on paper. You may not love every number you see. That's okay. Plans are allowed to improve, and what matters is that you finally have one. Because here's what I've learned. People rarely worry less because they suddenly have more money. They worry less because they finally have a plan. That's a huge difference. Maybe today you discovered you're already closer to retirement than you thought. That's wonderful. Maybe you discovered you still have some work to do. That's okay too. Because now you know exactly what that work is. You don't have to wonder anymore. You don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to compare yourself to people on television or strangers on the internet anymore. You have your numbers, you have your plan. And from this point forward, every good financial decision moves you closer to your goal. Maybe that's an extra 1% into your 401k. Maybe it's paying off the mortgage. Maybe it's working one more year. Maybe it's meeting with your financial planner. Whatever it is, it's no longer based on fear. It's based on a plan. And that's a completely different way to live. If this video accomplished one thing, I hope it replaced uncertainty with clarity. Because retirement isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. If you found this helpful, I'd love to have you join me each week here on Wisdom and Wealth. Every week, we'll sit down at the same kitchen table and tackle another financial question that's keeping people over 50 awake at night. Until then, keep building your plan, one decision at a time. God bless you. I'll see you next time.